Listen to me. Every single day matters. You can't afford to waste one more sunrise, one more opportunity, one more breath thinking you got time. You don't. Every single day is your chance to build, to grind, to push closer to that version of yourself you keep dreaming about. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. This is the moment. See, champions don't wake up and hope something great happens. They make it happen. They wake up hungry, focused, intentional, because they understand that greatness isn't built in one day. It's built every day. It's not about the big wins. It's about those small decisions, that daily discipline when nobody's watching, when it's cold, when it's hard, when you don't feel like it, but you still show up. You got to develop that every single day mentality, the mindset that says, I'm not stopping till I get what I came for. Because life doesn't reward the talented, it rewards the consistent. So today, I'm asking you, when you wake up tomorrow morning, what are you going to do with that 24 hours? You going to waste it, or you going to make it count? Consistency beats talent. Show up every single day. That's the mindset that separates the ones who talk about success from the ones who actually live it. See, talent is flashy. It looks good in the beginning. It makes noise when you first show up. But consistency is quiet. It's unglamorous. It's the part nobody claps for. It's waking up every single day when you don't feel like it, when the world feels heavy, when nobody's watching, and still putting in the work. That's what builds greatness. Because talent might open the door, but consistency keeps you in the room. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the discipline to work on that talent every day, it's going to fade. Look at the most successful people in any field, sports, business, art, life. They didn't get there because they were just gifted. They got there because they refused to take a day off from their purpose. They showed up when others slept. They practiced when others partied. They studied when others scrolled. It's not the moments of glory that define them. It's the thousands of unseen moments of effort. That's the truth about success. It's not sexy, it's steady. When you commit to showing up every single day, something shifts inside you. You start to build momentum. You stop relying on motivation and start relying on discipline. Motivation is temporary. It's a spark. It can start the fire, but consistency keeps it burning. Every day you show up, you add another piece of wood to that fire, and over time, that flame becomes unstoppable. You start to believe in yourself on a deeper level because you've seen what happens when you stay loyal to the process. You've proven to yourself that you can do hard things, and that belief is worth more than any amount of talent. Let me tell you something. Consistency is a mindset, not a mood. You can't just be consistent when you feel good. You have to be consistent, especially when you don't, because that's when it counts. Anybody can work hard when they're excited, when things are going right, when they feel inspired. But the real ones, the ones who actually win, are the ones who show up even when they're tired, frustrated, or unsure. They've trained their mind to lead their emotions. They've learned that feelings are temporary, but commitment is forever. They don't let how they feel dictate what they do. They let their goals dictate their actions. Think about it. If you did something small, something meaningful every single day toward your dream, where would you be in a year, 2 years, 5 years? You'd be unrecognizable. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year of daily effort. They want quick results, instant gratification, overnight success. But the truth is, overnight success takes years of daily commitment. Every rep, every practice, every hour matters. You might not see the results today or tomorrow, but that doesn't mean it's not working. Seeds take time to grow. You can't plant today and expect fruit tomorrow. But if you water it daily, if you nurture it, if you protect it, it will grow into something powerful. Consistency teaches you patience. It humbles you. It makes you realize that progress isn't always visible, but it's always happening. You learn to trust the process. You stop chasing perfection and start focusing on persistence. Because perfection is impossible, but persistence, that's what builds empires. You show up, you fail, you learn, and you show up again. That's the rhythm of growth. And every time you show up, even when it's hard, even when it feels pointless, you're building a version of yourself that's stronger than before. People often say, I'll start when I'm ready, but you'll never feel completely ready. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is today. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap because there's no such thing as perfect conditions. Consistency thrives in imperfection. It's about showing up in the mess, in the chaos, in the struggle, and saying, I'm still here. That's power. That's strength. That's how you separate yourself from the rest. Every single day, you stay consistent. You're building credibility with yourself. You're telling your brain, when I say I'll do something, I do it. And that's where real confidence comes from. Not from talking big, but from keeping promises to yourself. Confidence isn't given. It's built through consistent action. You don't get it by reading motivational quotes or hyping yourself up for one day. You get it by waking up every morning and putting in the work regardless of circumstances. And let me tell you, people notice. Even if they don't say it, they see your consistency. They see your grind. They see your growth. And one day, when your results start showing, they'll call you lucky, but you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It was consistency. It was all those early mornings, those late nights, those moments you chose to stay focused while everyone else took it easy. You earned it one day at a time. Consistency also builds resilience. Life is going to hit you. There will be obstacles, disappointments, failures, people who doubt you, moments where you question yourself. But when you've been consistent, you've built a foundation that can't be shaken. You know how to get back up because you've done it before. You've practiced perseverance. You've learned that setbacks aren't signals to stop. They're part of the journey. You can't break a person who keeps showing up no matter what. Consistency doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. It means doing something meaningful every day. It means progress over perfection. It means learning to adapt, but never to quit. It's showing up even when your effort feels small, because small efforts compound. You may not feel it day by day, but over time, those small, consistent actions add up to massive change. It's the power of compounding habits. Just like money grows with interest, your progress multiplies when you stay consistent. Think about the gym. You don't get fit from one intense workout. You get fit from showing up every day, putting in consistent effort, pushing through the days you don't feel like it. Your body changes because your habits change. The same rule applies to your mind, your business, your goals, your relationships. Everything thrives on consistency. Every time you show up, you're sending a message to yourself and the world that you're serious. You're saying, this is who I am now. This is what I do. You might not have the same resources as others. You might not have the same opportunities. You might not even have the same level of talent, but you have control over your effort. You have control over your consistency. That's the great equalizer, because consistency doesn't care where you started. It only cares that you keep going. It's not about being the best. It's about being better than you were yesterday. The ones who win aren't always the most talented, but they're always the most committed. They've mastered the art of showing up. They've learned that repetition builds mastery. The more you do something, the better you get. And the better you get, the more confident you become. Over time, talent starts to fade into the background because what really matters is your ability to endure, your ability to stay in the game long enough to win it. That's what consistency gives you. Endurance, stability, power. Every single day you show up, you're proving to the world that you belong. You're saying, I may not be there yet, but I'm coming. That's the energy you need. Relentless, consistent energy. You don't need to be loud. Your results will speak for you. You just have to be willing to do the work every single day, no matter how small, no matter how invisible. Because one day it won't be invisible anymore. One day, all those quiet, consistent days will turn into something incredible. So if you take one thing away from this, remember this truth. Talent is a gift, but consistency is a choice. You don't control how talented you are, but you control how consistent you can be. You control how many times you show up, how hard you work, how long you stay committed. Consistency is the bridge between goals and achievement, between dreams and reality. Every single day, you walk across that bridge step by step, effort by effort, showing up no matter what. That's how greatness is built. Discipline in the dark creates success in the light. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. Everyone loves the spotlight, the applause, the recognition, but they forget where that light comes from. It's born in the dark, in those long, lonely hours when nobody sees you grinding, when nobody's cheering you on, when the only voice you hear is your own saying, keep going. That's where discipline lives. It's built in the silence, in the unseen effort, in the moments where quitting looks easy, but you decide to keep fighting. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the muscle that separates winners from wishers. You can't fake discipline because it shows up in your results. People might not see the nights you stayed up working, the mornings you forced yourself out of bed when your body said no, the times you kept studying, training, or building while everyone else was resting. But those moments count. They are the invisible bricks that build your success. See, when the lights are off, when nobody's watching, that's when your character is tested. That's when you find out who you really are. It's easy to act disciplined when people are around, when you want to look committed, when you want to impress. But real discipline is when it's just you and your dream, when nobody's clapping, when nobody's pushing you, when it's quiet and all you have is your vision. That's when you either make excuses or make progress. Discipline is the difference between talking about greatness and actually becoming great. Every successful person you admire has gone through the dark season, the season where there was no validation, no recognition, no certainty. But they kept showing up. They trained when nobody cared. They worked when nobody asked. They stayed consistent when no one was keeping score. That's the price of success. You can't skip the dark if you want to shine in the light. You can't have the glory without the grind. Every champion was once a beginner who refused to give up when things got hard. Discipline is not built overnight. It's built through repetition, through doing small things right over and over again until they become part of you. It's brushing your teeth for your goals. Small, boring, but absolutely necessary. It's saying no when your emotions say yes. It's doing the hard things first. It's choosing progress over pleasure, responsibility over excuses, growth over comfort. Because comfort kills discipline. The moment you start chasing easy, you stop chasing excellence. And the dark is never easy. That's why most people avoid it. But that's also why few ever make it to the light. There's something powerful about being alone with your work. When the world is asleep and you're still putting in the reps, something inside you grows stronger. You start to develop self-respect. You start to realize you don't need applause to keep going. You don't need validation to do your best. You learn to depend on your vision instead of opinions. And that's where true power begins, when your drive comes from within, not from around. Discipline in the dark is also about sacrifice. You can't have everything at once. You have to give up something to get something greater. You have to miss out on distractions, on parties, on comfort, on the temporary pleasures that pull you away from your goals. It's not punishment, it's preparation. The dark season is where you learn control, patience, humility. It's where you build the mindset that says, I can delay gratification because I know what I'm working toward. The ones who master that mindset are unstoppable because the world can't tempt them away from their purpose. Most people stop because they don't see results fast enough. They think their effort isn't paying off. But discipline is about faith, doing the work without immediate reward. It's trusting the process when the outcome isn't visible. It's believing that your time will come if you keep showing up, because one day, all those unseen hours will add up. The light will find you. People will call you talented, lucky, gifted, but they'll never understand the years of darkness you endured to get there. They'll never see the struggle, the self-doubt, the sacrifices, but you'll know it was discipline that carried you through. The dark teaches you to depend on your habits, not your feelings. Feelings change, but habits stay. Discipline is choosing to act based on your goals, not your emotions. You may feel tired, bored, uninspired, but discipline doesn't care. It's not about feeling ready, it's about being committed. And when you live that way, the results become inevitable, because every time you push through a moment of weakness, you become stronger. Every time you do something hard when it would have been easier not to, you build mental toughness. That toughness is what will carry you when life hits harder than you expected. Discipline in the dark is what makes you ready for the spotlight. The light exposes both your effort and your lack of it. It reveals what you did when no one was watching. If you didn't do the work in the dark, the light will expose your shortcuts. But if you put in the work, if you stayed consistent, the light will amplify your greatness. It will highlight the skills you built, the mindset you developed, the strength you earned. That's why you can't rush the process. You have to let the dark season do its work, because it's shaping you into the person who can handle success. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your discipline. You can dream big all you want, but if your habits don't match your vision, it won't happen. Dreams demand discipline. Every successful story is a story of someone who out-disciplined the competition. They weren't always smarter, faster, or more talented. They were simply more consistent, more focused, more relentless in the dark. It's easy to want the results. It's hard to want the process. But the process is where you earn the right to succeed. The dark is where you pay your dues. Every drop of sweat, every late night, every early morning, every lonely grind session, that's the currency of success. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Because when it's dark, when it's quiet, when it feels like nothing's working, the disciplined keep going. They trust that the light will come. The dark also humbles you. It reminds you that success isn't instant. It teaches you patience, endurance, and gratitude. It strips away ego and replaces it with hunger. Because in the dark, you can't fake it. You either do the work or you don't. You either grow or you don't. It's black and white. And when the light finally shines, you'll be ready. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because you did. You became disciplined enough to handle the blessings you prayed for. Every great comeback, every breakthrough, every transformation begins in the dark. It's where the foundation is built, the skills are sharpened, the mind is trained. It's where you separate yourself from everyone who only performs when it's convenient. The dark is your advantage because it forces you to depend on discipline instead of motivation. It's where you become who you were meant to be, one decision, one sacrifice, one repetition at a time. Every 24 hours is a new chance to rewrite your story. Make it count. Each sunrise gives you a clean slate, a fresh page, another opportunity to create a better version of yourself. Too many people live stuck in yesterday, trapped by mistakes, regrets, and missed chances. They replay the same old scenes in their minds instead of realizing that every single day is a gift, a reset button that life hands you to try again, to improve, to move forward. The past might explain who you are, but doesn't define who you can become. You get to decide what today means. You get to decide what story you write with these 24 hours. Every day when you wake up, you're faced with a choice. Keep repeating the same habits that hold you back, or take one step toward the life you actually want. That's the power of the present. It's not about yesterday's failures or tomorrow's fears. It's about what you do right now. People underestimate how much they can change by using each day wisely. They think transformation happens overnight, but it doesn't. It happens day by day, choice by choice, action by action. Each decision you make today adds a line to your story, and those lines eventually form your legacy. You don't need a perfect plan to start rewriting your story. You just need a decision that says, I'm done living on autopilot. I'm done letting my past control my future. Because if you don't take control of your 24 hours, someone else will. Your phone, your distractions, your doubts, your fears, they'll write your story for you if you don't. Every day you waste is a page lost forever, but every day you live intentionally is a page that counts towards something real. People wait for New Year's, for Monday, for the right time to change. But there is no right time. There's just now. Every 24 hours is a new chapter waiting to be written, and you hold the pen. The problem is, too many people hand that pen to their circumstances. They let excuses write for them. They let laziness dictate the plot. They let fear tell them when to stop. But if you want to live a meaningful life, you have to take that pen back and write your own story. No matter how messy, no matter how uncertain, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Each day is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become stronger. It doesn't matter how many times you failed before. What matters is that you keep showing up. You can't rewrite the past, but you can change the ending by changing how you live today. The beauty of life is that it keeps giving you chances to start again. You might not be where you want to be yet, but as long as you have breath in your lungs, you have time to rewrite. Every sunrise whispers the same message. You get another shot. Don't waste it. When you wake up, ask yourself, what will I do with these 24 hours that will move me closer to my purpose? How will I use my energy, my time, my focus? Because time is the one thing you can't get back. Once this day is gone, it's gone forever. You can't rewind it. You can't redo it. You either use it or lose it. That's why it's called the present, because it's truly a gift. Most people realize the value of a moment only after it becomes a memory. But the great ones, the disciplined ones, the hungry ones, they realize the value before it's gone. They treat every day like it matters because it does. Every day is a chance to prove to yourself that you can change. Change doesn't happen in big leaps. It happens in daily steps. It happens when you choose to wake up earlier, to stay focused longer, to give more effort, to believe in yourself even when no one else does. Those small actions might seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they rewrite your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who gives up and start seeing yourself as someone who shows up. That's how transformation begins. Quietly, daily, consistently. Rewriting your story also means forgiving yourself for yesterday. You can't carry yesterday's pain into today and expect peace. You can't move forward if you're dragging old guilt and regret behind you. Let it go. Every 24 hours gives you a chance to let go of what's behind you and grab hold of what's ahead. The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. The people who move forward fastest are the ones who stop punishing themselves for who they were and start focusing on who they're becoming. You are not your mistakes. You're the person who's learning from them. There's something powerful about realizing that your story isn't finished yet. Maybe you've been through storms, setbacks, heartbreaks, but as long as you're alive, your story is still unfolding. You can't change the beginning, but you can change how it ends. The next chapter doesn't have to look like the last one. You don't have to repeat patterns. You don't have to live small. You don't have to keep waiting for permission. You can start writing differently right now by how you think, how you speak, how you act. It's easy to let one bad day turn into a bad week, one bad week into a bad month, one bad month into a bad year. But you have to remind yourself that every day stands alone. Yesterday doesn't own today. You can fail today and still win tomorrow if you decide to get up and try again. That's what rewriting your story means. Not perfection, but persistence. It means you don't let a single day define your whole life. You use each day as a step forward, even if it's small, even if it's hard, because small progress every day leads to massive change over time. You have to be intentional with your 24 hours. Don't let your time be stolen by distractions or negativity. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. The way you spend your time is the way you spend your life. If you waste your days, you waste your potential. But if you fill them with purpose, discipline, and gratitude, you start to build a life you're proud of. Every moment matters. Every choice matters. You can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you respond, and that's enough to change everything. Every day, remind yourself that you have the power to change your story. You're not stuck unless you decide to stay stuck. Life doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to keep showing up, to use each day as a chance to be better, to give more, to love more, to grow more. You don't have to do everything at once. Just make today count. Because when you make one day count, then another, eventually your entire life starts to count. You were not created to live on repeat. You were created to evolve, to rise, to build something meaningful. Every 24 hours gives you a chance to do that. Don't sleepwalk through your days. Don't treat time like it's endless. One day you'll wish you had back the moments you're wasting now. So use them wisely. Work toward your vision. Speak life over your goals. Choose action over excuses. The next 24 hours could be the beginning of something extraordinary if you decide to make it count.